In this video, we will talking about how to perform web scanning on web application. Web Scanner supports scan across various vulnerability that include SQL injection, OS command injection, weak password, and many more. Before we start to use Web Scanner, we will need to take note on the following. First is the Web Scanner has risk to damage site data, therefore web scanning is not suggested to perform directly on the production servers. Client should provide a mirror server to scan vulnerability. Second is if you were to scan on production server, it required to get approval and stress on possible risk to customer. Third, need to back up site data and source code before performing scan to ensure the data can be restored from backup if there is problem. Log in to NGAF device. Go to Security Assistant, Web Scanner. On the Web Scanner page, you may assign the web URL into the text box. After assigned the URL, you may click on this button to change the site setting. The login is used to decide whether the site need to be logged in or not. If the web application need to log in, then you may click on the Remember Login Credential option. Then the scanner will record user's login information, so that it can have more depth scanning. In this case we will choose No Need to Login option. Next is the operation environment. The scanner first will automatically detect the target server environment. You may also change it manually. Click on the OK button to save the configuration. Here is the template. By default will have a quick scan and full scan template. If you want to add the template, you may click on the Add button to add it. Here are the basic setting like name and description. The scan options used to change the scanning parameters. The enhanced scanning adopts some bypass method to discover certain vulnerability. It mainly to bypass the protection of WAF. The ordinary use partial bypass methods. The all options use all bypass method. The proxy server is used to set the proxy server address and port for accessing the application. During the scanning process, if it returned page matches the regular expression in the list, then it will be directly graded as 404 page. When requesting non-existing page, if the response is not 404, it suggests to add here to have the more accurate scanning results. Next is crawler options, like case sensitive, crawl directory depth, excluded URL, file, and parameter. Last is the testing policy. User may choose the item to be scanned. There are two types of policy, which is quick scan and full scan. Click on the Add button may add more policy. In here you may enter the policy name and choose the items for the policy. The more scan items, the longer it takes. In this case, we will use the quick policy, so we will not create a new policy. Click on the OK button to save the template. Click on the Start button to start scanning. When the scanning start, it will take some time to finish scanning. It will depends on the template you choose. If you choose a full scan, then it will take longer time to finish. While scanning, you may leave the scanning running, come back after some time to check whether it finished or not. If you want to check the result after some time, you may go back to the web scanning page and check the result. The following shows that the scan has been completed. You may check the vulnerability found on the web application. Here are the directory found during the web scanning. Here will show the time take for this scanning. You may click on this button to export the scanning result as HTML file. After the file generated, you may download it. In the HTML file will show the scanning details. In the scan page, there are some functions such as scheduled scan and scan history. The schedule scan function is used to schedule the web scanning running on specific time. You may choose on the date and time, so that it will automatically run the web scanner on that time. Next is the scan history. You may check back the scanning history here. If you wish to rescan again, may click on this button. If the target URL have WAF policy to protect, it will require to disable the policy, else will not able to scan the web application. High availability does not synchronize configurations in web scanner. To have a more accurate result on weak password scan, user has to log into targeted URL. It will require to export scan report once scan completed, else the report will be erased whenever a new scan is started.